Okay, so this is another video I'm making. How I first found out my grandma passed away. So, everybody knows me and that my grandmother and me is like this. When I was born, my mother was working 2 jobs and my grandfather told her to take me. So they took me in, and then they raised me a very respectful young lady. Unless I get real smart, and I got my grandmother tendencies. Like when somebody play with me, you already know, because it's what. But yeah. Anyways, so when I first found out my grandma passed away, mind you, this was my grandma passed away June 3rd of 2018 of this year, and it really hurted me. But it's story time how I found out she died. Okay, so like I said, me and my grandmother was like this. That was my baby. That was my baby, y'all. That was my baby. And we was always together. My grandma raised me. She taught me things. How to be a young lady, how to cook, how to clean, how to wash clothes. I mean, my mother was there, but I relied on my grandmother more than I relied on my mother, because my grandmother was there for me more than anything. My grandmother used to take me to school when I was 4. My grandmother used to pick me up. And then when she got older, she kept picking me up though, but she was older. My grandma would cook for me. She washed my clothes. She did my hair. She bought me everything I wanted. She bought me hair. She gave me money for school up until I was in the 12th grade. Even after college, like, my grandma bought me stuff. My grandma helped me buy my tuition. She helped me with my tuition. My grandmother helped me with my kids. And my grandma was there when I first found out I was having another baby. My grandma was there. But yeah, like I said, me and my grandma was like this. So I could call her. She called me, asked am I coming to see her. If I didn't, she would got smart and told me, get out her face. Why you ain't coming to see me? Like, my grandma used to borrow money. I used to borrow money from her. It's just like we had that bond. I can call her about anything and I could talk to her about anything. My grandma was my baby, y'all. So, okay, so this year, last year I really wasn't working as much as I was. But this year I was working. 2018, I started working May 11th. My grandmother got sick when I was pregnant with my daughter. She's 1 now. But I was pregnant with when I was pregnant, my grandmother was mad because I had another baby. She did not want me to have another baby, but she still was there for me. She still bought her stuff. That still was her granddaughter. So, mind you, I'm the youngest to the youngest of the grandkids. So, yeah, I'm definitely spoiled. So, so my grandmother, so around that time, my grandmother was really sick. So, she was getting to the point where my grandma had cancer in her lungs, real bad. And the cancer spread it badly. But they caught it in time the first time, and the doctor was like, yeah, if it come back again, they cannot do nothing about it. So my grandmother was getting better. She was getting her treatments. She was getting better. I was hoping and praying that she stayed until I got married of 2019. That was my set date. I already told her and stuff like that. So, like, I mean, I didn't tell her when is it, but I told her that was my actual when I want to get married. And she did promise me she was going to be there. But obviously she broke her promise. She didn't mean to break her promise, but things happen and life happens. That's where we got to go at next, but everybody got to go that route soon. So, me and my grandmother, and this time, 2018, I was working. This was the day, let me not put that part yet. Okay, my grandma was really sick, and then they said it was going to do nothing. Okay, I told you that part. Okay, my grandma was getting better. She was getting better. Around, I want to say April of 2018, she got sick again. And this time, the cancer has spread it. And it was not in the same spot. I don't know where they said it was. My aunt really didn't tell me where it was located at. But, hold on. Oh, oh. She didn't really tell me where it was located at. But she told me it resurfaced her. So, my grandma was getting more medicine by the day, by the day, by the day. So, yeah. So, she was getting sick to more than where she was. So they started giving her sleeping pills because my grandma wasn't really sleeping as much. My grandma would get up at night and just do stuff that she knows she's not supposed to be doing. My grandma was the type that she didn't care if she was on medication or not. She still was going to do for her grandkids and her babies. So my grandmother used to try to cook. And we told her she can't do the stuff that she used to do no more because she don't have the strength. Because my grandma didn't have the strength because when she came home, she couldn't do anything for herself. I had to, me being a certified nurse assistant, I did clean her butt, I did wash her up, I did half of the stuff that people was doing. So I helped. Mind you, I was pregnant around this time and stuff like that. So I still was going to help her, but my aunt was like, no, I can't. You can't help her because you know you can't pick her up. I said, if I can do it, I can do it. So that's what I did. So now get back to the point where her cancer spread it again. Her cancer spread it again, but it spread it somewhere, I don't know. So my grandmother had some first stage, basically the first and second stage of dementia, where she forgets stuff. So dementia is like when you forget stuff, like you forget the crazy parts of life, like how to function in life, period. So like my grandmother forgot how to use the remote for the air conditioner in her room. So mind you, my grandmother got the remote and she was pushing the TV remote as the remote for the air conditioner, and I had to go show her, and I had to show her the remote, she used the remote to call the people too, and I had to give her the phone. So my grandmother was getting sick by the day. So finally the doctors took her off the medicine because she was getting worse than what she was. So at this point she was getting sick by the day, but she actually thought the doctor was taking her off because she was getting better. But my grandma would always say today, if she was here, she was feeling better. But she actually was going downhill. Okay, so my grandmother was getting sicker and sicker and sicker by the day. Okay, this specific day, it was gloomy outside. Me and baby, I already knew it was something wrong because my aunt had called and said, "You're going to work?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" She was like, "Oh, well, if Betty called, just know you got to come home." Okay, so I'm thinking in my mind that my son was getting sick or something like that because she went to the laundromat and she had my son. So I'm thinking my son was sick and I needed to come home if I had to take him to the hospital. So I really wasn't thinking at that time. Okay, so the day when I went to work, did what I had to do. I got a phone. Well, I put my phone on the charger. Around this time, I was supposed to get off at 6:30 around this time. I didn't get off till like 7 or 8. So so what happened? So yeah, around this time it was pouring down raining. People say my grandmother died at 3:30. 3:30 it started raining. And I looked out the window around 3:30. I'm just looking out the window and I'm thinking something wrong. Like I just knew something was wrong because it was raining and I just started getting this type of feeling. I don't know. Like in my body I just felt weak. Like I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just felt weak at that time. I don't know. And plus my grandfather's birthday is March 30th, 3:30. My son was born at 3:30. That was a crazy part that ever happened to me. Like my son was born at 3:30. My grandfather's birthday is March 30th, and my grandmother died at 3:30. Okay, so Yeah, I was just looking. I was looking at outside. I was just looking outside. I just knew it was something wrong because it was raining. So around 6:30, 7 o'clock, I got an inbox from my homegirl, and we gonna name her Purple. Purple inboxed me on at 7 o'clock, like, I'm sorry for your loss. I hope you're okay. I'm here for you if you need me. I'm thinking like one of my other family members passed away and somebody told them about. So I'm shaking. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. So I call, I call my grandma's house. Usually my grandma would answer the phone when she get a phone call. She be like, hello, or ghetto. Yeah, my grandma was 84 when she passed away. She would have been, no, she was 85 when she passed away. She would have been 86 this year. This year coming up, June 3rd. June 16th. My grandmother died, I forgot. I don't know. Well, anyways, 15 days prior to her kid dying. No, I'm wrong. 13 days, my bad. I brain fart. 13 days before her birthday. She died 13 days before her birthday. So, okay, so I called my aunt this time, and we're gonna call my aunt Pink. I called Pink and said, what's going on? Like, what happened? Like, why, what is going on? Like, I'm really shaking. I'm at this point, at this time, I'm shaking. I don't know what's going on. I'm looking like, what, like, I'm shaking. I'm crying. And she was like, she said it all slow, but my mind didn't really register until I just really, like thinking like, yo, my grandmother really passed away. Like, passed away. My baby, my heart, my everything, she really passed away. I just couldn't believe it. So, mind you, don't mind my hair, y'all. I'm just a whole mess right now. So, but yeah, she really passed away. And I just can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was crying. I was bawling out because that was my grandmother. We was like this. My grandmother was really my baby. We was like this. That's my heart. And I'm just fussing at my aunt like, why y'all didn't tell me that she was sick and I would have stayed home? You get what I'm saying? Like, I would have stayed home. My grandmother passed away. I couldn't do it. Why do I have to hear from my friend, somebody telling me that my grandmother passed away and y'all couldn't even call? I was really beloved. I was irritated. I was just I wanted to fight. And my grandma always prepared me for this moment anyway. My grandma would always tell me, I'ma always love you, Shay. Like, I'ma love you. My grandma wasn't the type to tell you just she loved you. She showed through her actions. But so her actions showed that she loved me. My grandma cared for me. My grandma was my baby. She did everything for me. Anything I asked for, even if she didn't have it at that moment, she always got it. So, like, that really hurt me for somebody not to tell me. And my grandmother raised me. I was the only grandchild that stayed with her since I was a little girl. I started living with my grandmother when I was months. My grandmother, my aunt, and my grandfather took care of me. All three of them took care of me by day. My grandfather died when I was 6, so I really didn't really get the feeling of, you know, how to feel like that, because my grandfather passed away. So I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm 6 years old. I don't know, but I was 21, 22 when my grandmother passed away. My grandma passed away months ago. It would have been, this month will make it June, July, August, September, October. My grandma been gone for 4 months. 4 months. This is the recent death. Like, for real. But yeah, I was really hurt and stuff like that. That was my baby. Everybody know that me and my grandmother is always together. So around this time, I went downstairs to one of my supervisor's office and started crying. I started crying. Like, I was hurt. I could not stop crying. My aunt told me, yeah, she'll come get you so she can take me home. I did not want to go home. So when my grandmother, I posted my grandmother on Facebook. And I think my boyfriend found out that my grandmother passed away. And he hugged me and stuff like that. But I was just really hurt. Like I really wanted my grandmother to see my boyfriend. And she said she wanted to meet him when she got better. But my grandmother never got better. She passed away. Like, it's just sad to say somebody go like that. But eventually we gotta go there anyway. But that my grandmother, I just did not want her to leave so soon. I didn't even get to say goodbye to her. I like on her funeral was that my grandmother died on a weekday, so her funeral was that next week funeral on that Saturday. So yeah, my grandmother okay. So around this time, they couldn't really put up money towards my grandma's funeral because I don't know what's going on, but I ain't gonna say no confidential stuff. I'm gonna say somebody stole something and lied and say they didn't steal it, but they stole it. Somebody tried to steal my grandmother. I think my grandmother had like $700. No, more than seven something, close to like $2,000-3,000 in her bank account. Somebody stole something out of there. I ain't saying no names. I don't know. But that was wrong that my grandma had to pay for her own her flowers. How, like, to be honest, how dare you do that to my grandmother? It is what it is. You did it, and you gonna what is it called? You gonna regret what you did. My grandma shouldn't have to pay for her home flowers for her funeral. Like, that's just crazy. But yeah, that was the story of how my grandma passed away and how I found out. But it was just sad. Ooh, face breaking out real bad. It's getting cold, that's why. But yeah, recipe to my grandmother, Lula Patrice Brown. She's married, y'all, to Oscar Pappy Brown. Her maiden name is Lula Patrice Baylor. She was born June 16, 1931, 34, and died June 3rd, 2018. My grandfather was born March 30th, 1931, and died April 13th, 2001. So my grandmother was 70 something. My grandfather would have been 80 something, 88, 89, almost in his 90s if he was still here. But my grandmother would have been next year. She would have been 80, 87. They was my babies, y'all. Y'all just don't understand. I would drop a photo in this picture to show you my grandpa, my grandmother when they was younger. My grandmother looked like me when she was younger, and my grandfather looked like a whole vanilla child. My grandfather was he's mixed with Indian and black, and his hair is very long. My grandmother is mixed with black and Jamaican. My grandmother is half Jamaican and some other stuff. So, yeah. Goodbye, y'all.